Hostile territory.
Hi everyone and welcome to another video from Hostile Territory. In this video we'll be talking about how to motivate yourself to go to a toxic or hostile workplace. This is very important to know because one of the biggest obstacles, if not the biggest obstacle, is to find the motivation to go to such a workplace, especially if you're forced to work there for some reason for several months or years. This will be a big problem. The first tip on this list that I would recommend is to always have a clear goal and a vision why you are there and why you are putting up with everything. The obvious and most common reason why you're there is the paycheck. That was the case with me, and the benefits. Okay, if you have a good paycheck, if you have good benefits, if all of what you're doing puts food on the table, puts a roof above your head, above your family's head, if it puts gas in the gas tank, that is all a justified and clear goal. And every time something bad happens at work and every time you have problems making yourself get to work, remember that and remember what could happen if you don't go. If you don't have a family, maybe a good goal is that you want to travel to some place, you have another job opportunity, whatever makes you tick. Just have that in a clear, frame, what it's all about and why you're there. Otherwise, over time, being in a toxic and hostile workplace will just seem like some sort of punishment that you have to do, and that brings upon other emotions and things that are not good for you and for your health. Next, if possible, do not take your job seriously. If you make any kind of mistake at work, if someone treats you poorly, if you are insulted by someone, try to sort of react to it as it is not important at all. Okay, it has, of course, you don't have to be bad at your work or something like that, but try to put it in some sort of format where it is absolutely not important at all and it just bounces off you. Try to envision some sort of force field around you where all the people and all the situations you're in do not have any importance to your life, to anything. Okay, again, what we mentioned in the previous tip, you're there for the paycheck and nothing else. If you take things personally, if you get insulted, if you get wounded all the time from toxic people, it will be a serious lack of motivation and you won't be able to get to the job eventually. The next tip on this list is try spending as much time as you can away from work. Naturally, when you leave work, that's it, you're gonna go home. But if you work in a toxic and hostile environment, one of the biggest dangers is taking your work to home. We'll make a video specifically on this topic. If you start abusing your family, your friends, relatives, or everyone you're in direct contact with, the people you care about, with your work, then that's a big problem. If you manage, and this is very hard, only pros can do this, if you manage to sever all the connections you have from work, forget about it like it completely does not exist in any way when you finish with work, that will help make a reset in your head and give you better motivation to go to work the next morning. This is closely related to not taking your work personally, trust me. Another thing, and this is sort of optional, but it helped me in tough times, is to have some sort of ritual. I'll make an example. I liked to drink coffee before work every morning. This gave me and I like to take my time, get up on time, make myself some coffee and just sit in silence and sort of think about what's waiting for me at work, what are my goals, what am I doing, and so on. This had a strength on its own to let me sort of put all of that into some sort of frame and tell myself why I am doing all of this. You may do this with exercising, with drinking tea, with listening to music when you go to work. It really doesn't matter. Find what suits you best. Try to reward yourself occasionally. This may be a sort of stick and carrot system, but it is powerful, trust me. You have to know what you're working for, okay? And sometimes working for paying the bills, working for food, sort of becomes, I don't know how to put this, boring, daunting. You don't feel any personal gain from all of this. From time to time, give yourself a treat, okay? If you like good food, go to your favorite restaurant. If you like to go out with your friends or family, do so. If you like to buy things for your car, do that. Whatever helps you, okay? What this will produce is a much needed boost of motivation, of energy, of sort of a sense that you know what you're doing. I must say on this part, don't use abusive substances to do this. Don't spend a ton of money on yourself, but rather do this in a modest and good way. It will help you. Talking about food, there is also something I would like to share that also helped me, and that is good food and your favorite food. Now, by this, I don't mean to stuff yourself with always the same, perhaps unhealthy food, but rather make yourself a menu, and this goes double if you bring your food to work like I did for many years. My wife always cooked for me my favorite meals, and when I bring that to work, it's sort of a mini motivation within that day to get through the day much easier. Now, this is also a sort of stick and carrot system, but trust me, when push comes to shove in a toxic and hostile workplace, and when all of those things come upon you, knowing that you have a nice meal in front of you may help you get through the day easier. It may be 1 millimeter of help, but it may be that turning point where you say, it's not all that bad. For the last tip in this video, and that is to have an exit strategy for yourself. Regarding motivation, an exit strategy planned out and a quality strategy will give you the opportunity to motivate yourself in the sense that every time, again, when push comes to shove, you say, this is all gonna have an end. And especially if it's coming soon. All of that will give you a whole other dimension of reacting to things. The exit strategy will simply change your perspective on everything, how it's going. Instead of this big, long ordeal with no end in sight, with nothing happening positive in it, you have to do it, you're forced to do it, and all of that, it will give you simply an overview that it will come to an end. And that stance on its own is a big motivation. When you're doing something that you have to, that you're forced to, and you know that it's coming to an end, especially if it's coming soon, that is a big motivator. So that's it for this time. I hope these videos help. Please like and subscribe. It's a huge help for what we're doing. I must once more mention that working in a toxic and hostile work environment is not normal. What you're going through is a specific situation, and you have to have a specific kind of behavior and stance towards it to get through all of it unscathed and without any permanent damage. Thank you for watching, thank you for your time, and see you in the next video.